face bars. I mean, it's so wacky. And they're quite rare, actually. So why don't you step up for it?
All right, G. All right. Yeah, there we go.
Cut half of my body off.
Huh?
Cut
Nah,
half of
bro.
my body.
We're both in it, though. We both in it,
I
bro.
want to look so big.
Ah, shit. How do I put this shit? All right, dog. Let me make sure one more time that we're recording. Yep. All right, cool. Yeah, someone put something on the TV. Not me. What's good, G?
What's good? What's
How
good?
you doing? Have you been? You said you've been on one podcast before.
Yeah, only one
All right,
before.
so
Yeah.
you're just kind of talking to the mic. That way, the volume is good. I appreciate you coming out here, man.
No problem. Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah. You want to introduce yourself?
My name's Tommy Garcia, but I go by the name of Raider Tommy.
Whoop whoop.
That's what everybody knows me as on
Okay.
social media.
Okay. Does that mean you're a Raider fan too?
Yeah.
Yeah. How they doing right now?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Nah, not too good. Not too
Not
good.
too good.
Nah. It's kind of like that every year, no?
It's been
Yeah.
for a minute now.
Damn, G. Well, I appreciate you coming out. I just wanted to chop it up with you, dog. See what's good with you. Just talk, man. I I'll be honest. One of the reasons was I thought
Thought I was somebody else.
no, not necessarily. I thought I saw your name pop up on a list of disses.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't you. And I'm not trying to stir up beef.
Yeah.
But I guess it was Compa Raider whose name I
Okay.
saw up in the beef. But one of the things I'll notice about you, one, your name, Raider Tommy, right? Two, it looks like you do a lot of good things. It looks like you're involved in a lot of stuff. You know, um, recently, that kid that went missing, they found him. What was his name?
Alex.
Alex. And what happened with that?
Um. Actually, I don't know the full details. I just
Okay.
know, he came up missing from school. Didn't get on his bus one day,
Yeah.
and he went missing. So we got to go.
They found him both times, right?
Yeah,
Well, the one time he went missing from school, the second time he went missing from
his house. Yeah.
From the house. Yeah, but then
Like,
he's back home.
Yeah, well, he's not back home. He's getting taken care of right now.
Okay, good. Well,
but he's safe.
Yeah. Okay. And was he okay? Like the first time from the school, he was good.
Yeah, he's good.
I know they took him to the hospital. They checked him out.
Yeah.
Nothing. He was good.
He's all right. Yeah.
That's what's up, G. Um, how did Raider Tommy come about?
Well, it started probably about over 15 years ago. I've always been a Raider fan, but I was hanging around with the DJ Jimmy Reyes.
Okay.
He was with Hot 92.3 back then, and him and his partner. I went out a lot with them, worked out with them a lot, at different events. And one day, one of his partner, Victor, just said, "Hey man, we're just gonna, Raider Tommy." He just started calling me that, and then it just went from there.
How'd you get so popular on Instagram, dog? You popping, bro, dude. I just seen Joe Rogan's following you. That's that's goals, G. That's goals,
Yeah. It's a try. I got surprised, myself that he followed me. I just, woke up one day and I said he was following me. I didn't know too much about him. I'm just like, damn. I asked a couple people and they were saying the same thing as you.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like,
now, real quick, I'm gonna do some. What do you call that? I'm gonna take care of a little business real quick. My name is Dre. I go by Dre. Dre Cuts. This is the Dre Talks podcast. Don't get it twisted. My name's not Drew. I'm not Drew Cuts. This isn't the Drew Talks podcast. This is the Dre Talks podcast because I talk too much. So I wanna mention my name, and my coworkers are like, Dre Talks. Nobody listens. Nah, but this is a Dre Talks podcast. Just so everybody knows, I go by Dre. Dre Day. Dre don't play. Dre every day. It's Dre like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre Cuts, whatever you want to call it. Another thing, I have on the TV my logo, Dre Talks Podcast. And if you guys need tattoo work, you guys gotta go see my cousin Jackie G and Andres at Ingres Art Studio in Lincoln Heights, 2716 North Broadway. Phone number is 323-313-2520. And on Instagram, it's at INKDRES at Inkdress. Follow them. They do all my work. My boy is lit. He's got the best work. Anything from fine lines to portraits, whatever you need, hit them up. 323-313-2520. Lincoln Heights, California. Let's go. Um, so let's take it back. Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Downey.
Okay, Downey. So
Born in Paramount.
kind of like
Raised in
Southeast
Downey.
LA.
Yeah.
I just interviewed this girl. Shout out to Peaches. She was from a Paramount area,
Okay.
so another Southeast LA girl. So you're from Southeast LA too. So that's what's up. How was it growing up?
Growing up, I had a good family. We're all together.
Okay,
Great parents. Just playing sports.
that's right.
You know.
That's right. Um, Anything stand out? Like I know you mentioned you've been through some struggles. So like if
Well,
you
I
don't,
mean, just growing up playing ball and all that, and then just took the wrong road.
what happened?
Started experimenting with different drugs, and just
Okay.
became a drug addict.
How old were you when you first experimented?
I started smoking weed in about seventh grade,
Okay.
sixth grade, seventh grade, and it just led to more and more. So ninth grade is when it really went on. Went to bigger and better things. I guess I'm trying to
Bigger
say.
and better things, yeah, or smaller and stronger things.
Yeah, stronger.
you know, you know, how long you been clean now?
November 7th was 19 years.
19 years. You drink?
Occasionally.
Okay, so me, for anybody that doesn't know, part of my stories on the internet on a podcast called Terminally Unique Podcast. If you guys want to hear it, I'll tell it now. Just part of it. But I've been sober for next month. I'll have 2 years clean and sober from drugs and alcohol, right? Um,
Right.
and I'm so in our clean time, whatever you want to call it. I'm a little different from you, and I'm a little different from a lot of other people. So like some people can get clean off, I don't know, say dope or coke or weed, right?
Mm.
And they can drink. I can't drink. Can't have one drop of alcohol. Not because somebody's saying don't drink, but because if I have one drop of alcohol, I tell people I'm allergic to alcohol. They're like, "What do you mean?" I say, "I don't break out in hives. I break out in handcuffs. I make bad decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's nothing crazy. I'm not out there murdering people. I'm not out there robbing people. Nothing like that. But when I take one drink, the party don't stop. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it don't stop for nothing, nobody, no place. Money's not an issue. Money's not an object. So I'll take it as far as I can, as long as I can.
Right.
And I was just listening to Joe Rogan, and he was saying like people that stay up for 2 days at a time on drugs. He was like they're 2 days away from door's death. Like 2 more days of staying up, and you can die. And I'm like, I know a lot of people who stayed up for weeks at a time, bro. 2 days
Right.
ain't shit,
No,
And
nothing.
I'm not saying that as because I'm proud, but
Yeah.
but 4 days that's chump change. You know what I mean? Um, well, I mean, it's we're talking like sobriety and being clean. You know what I mean? Like what's would you mind sharing some of those crazy stories of things you've been through because of like drug addiction?
Well, just the day-to-day life of living. As somebody on that, man, just hotel to hotel, females, alcohol, just doing all that stuff. Just for weeks and weeks. But what got me to stop was it was one time I went to a strip club for my birthday, and
Okay.
I had been up for about more than a week, and went and just drank. Left when I closed down the place, and drove home and ended up crashing. Didn't even know I crashed. Left my fluids in my car, trail all the way home. Made it home, and just woke up in the morning with a Downey PD at my door, and
Mm,
that was just a wake up call. And I said, could have killed myself, could have killed a lot more people, and just but just an everyday thing of hotel partying, nonstop partying
yeah.
and being up. but not too crazy. I didn't just stuck in the hotel getting high,
Oh, okay. So that's,
party.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I
never
mean,
too well.
I've been, I've stayed in hotels. I think longest maybe 2 to 3 weeks in the same one. With a group of people where we were just that's where we were sleeping. That's where we were living. We had food. We had we were paying day to day, $90 a day. There was one spot I stayed in East LA where I was paying like $60 a day, which isn't bad. But my issue wasn't just drinking and the other shit. Like I incorporated
Oh,
gambling,
okay.
and so if I incorporated gambling, $60 a day gets hard
Yeah,
because say I was like, okay, I'm gonna make $60 a day, but then say I'm gambling, I'm up $100. I'm like, oh well, I could use some fresh clothes and a haircut. Next
yeah,
thing you know, there's no more. The $100 is gone, not because I spent it on the clothes and the motel and the haircut, but because I spent it on
gambling.
gambling. I lost
Yeah,
it. You know,
yeah,
there's been times where I'm up maybe a G, $1,000, and I get greedy. I'm like, nah, I'll
one
stop at
more.
1,500. I never hit that 1,500, and I go down, 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 down. And that's a hard way to live. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not. I just turned 35 last month, but you know, uh, active like drinking. For me, probably from the age of like 23 to on and off till for 12 years till I was 35.
Yeah,
So like I said, next month I'll have 2 years, and life is good,
it's a
man.
whole lot better, man.
Life is good. Busy. Today was my day off, and I'm like running. I don't mind it. It's not a bad thing, but I'm like running over here from Irvine, and it was like a weird
Yeah,
day where like I had some family shit that popped up randomly, and uh, and I was just like fuck. But life is good, man. Um, you said you came on a podcast. Which one?
Long Beach social experiment.
What's that about?
They do everything. They did do multiple guests and everything, but we just talked about the same. They do from everything, influencers to how do you call it, conspiracies, just a little bit of everything.
Conspiracies? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you talk about any conspiracies?
Nah, I've
No.
never really been
You're not
into all
into
that.
that?
Nah,
No.
no.
Ah.
I'm just more into just out there helping the community, helping people. That's what I.
Are you working on any projects right now?
Right now, just we have I myself just promoting a concert. Start up
Which one?
promoting concert.
Which one's coming up
It's
next?
the one on Valentine's Day in the city of Long Beach. It's the Valentine's oldie.
Is that Bobby D again or
No,
no? No,
that's
that
Live Alley events.
Live LA events.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
shout them out.
Bobby D has a the freestyle coming up. He has a few of them coming up, but right now I have the
I'm sorry, not Bobby D. Nationwide.
nationwide too. I work with multiple. I work with Bobby D. I work with Live Alley events. Mike. I work with Nationwide and FKOA.
How'd you get plugged up and all that?
Yeah. I just started connecting with all these artists, and Mike from LA Events hit me up. I was going through a hard time at that time, and he's like, "Hey, got a little gig for you. I don't know if you want to do it. I see you have a following. Like, I'll shoot you some tickets. You make your money off of each ticket, whatever." And I just went from there. Been doing it for about 8 to 10 years now.
That's right. What was that other one called that I was supposed to go to in Summer Nights?
Yeah, in
How that
Hollywood, that was a
how'd that
nationwide.
one turn out?
That one was good.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of people.
Man,
Yeah, it turned out
I
good.
wanted to be there so bad. I had some family shit pop up, and I was like, fuck. But the homie Droops was there. The homie
Juice
Cleon
pulled
was
up.
there.
Shout out to Juice.
I heard Reverie performed that
Reverie
night.
performed.
I think Sinclair too.
Sinclair, Zoe Osama, Be Real.
Be real, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Hi, man.
a little easy.
Look,
It was a good show.
that's his son. Is he
Yeah,
his son?
son. Yeah.
What's up with that guy? How's he doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I never really had no
He's
contact
not
with him.
as is he not as good though?
I,
I mean, what I mean is, Easy is fucking worldwide, right?
easy. Yeah, I mean,
But it's probably hard to get to that.
yeah.
To that,
I don't think anybody's really the same as to me. Everybody's their own person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be your son, you can be your daughter, whatever. But I mean, you still rocks it, but I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think nobody can be exact.
I I'll say like Ice Cube's son. So like Ice Cube is huge, right? His son's not as big, but his son is in a couple of really big movies, and I think from those couple of movies, he's gonna end up being a really good actor because that's basically little Ice Cube right there. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like it's I think he has a real shot of making it big. I mean, he's
yeah.
already big. Have you heard of Den of Thieves
No,
with Gerard Butler?
no, I'm
You
not
like
really.
cop movies?
I'm not really a cop. I'm not really a
Movie kind of
movie
guy?
kind of.
Ah man, I like movies. I like good movies. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie, man. Um, I seen man, I think I seen you post something about. Might have been something political. How do you feel about what's going on in the world,
Um,
specifically America?
well, as in what category? Like I
Everything,
post a
man.
lot about the cop, the cops,
Oh, the
the
cop.
police,
Well,
and all
that's
that.
one thing. That's one thing.
I think they take a lot of how do you call it? Take advantage of the situation. I mean,
Mm,
so I like to when somebody's wrong, like to call them out. I see a lot of it now because people are pulling out their cameras. I think we gotta always fill in police, like they say, because I've seen stuff on live where the whole police stop changes once the camera gets pulled out,
mm,
and I think they've been able to do what they want,
yeah.
never really held accountable. So we can somehow put it out there. That's why I like to do.
Yeah, I'm not like a criminal. I have tattoos. I'm basically bald headed, and I'm Hispanic, whatever. I grew up in Highland Park, and even though I don't do anything like illegal at this point in my life, I got pulled over recently around here actually, and the first thing I wanted to do was pull out my phone and start
You
recording,
should have.
but it went okay. My lawyer's handling it. Some I have a bad habit of not stopping at red lights and stop signs. Well, no, I don't run red lights, but like when you turn right, you're supposed to
Yeah,
stop and then go.
yeah.
I have a bad
You just
habit of
roll
not
through.
stop. I just roll through, or I roll through at stop signs a lot, especially like right here in the hood. Like ain't nobody around, but they be around. They
Yeah,
be
yeah.
creeping, bro.
Yeah,
And
they're hiding out there, man.
yeah, they be hiding, man. But like the last, I wanted to, and I'm always like, oh, if I get pulled over, I'll pull that shit out. But you know, I hopefully I don't hopefully I'm not out here getting pulled over anyways.
Yeah,
It's a hassle. It's a hassle. Like I had these last two things: red light ticket and you know, not stopping at a stop sign. My lawyer's taking care of it. Shout out to George Gallegos. Look him up on Monterey Park. Personal injury, fucking defense, whatever you need. Check out George Gallegos in Monterey Park. He's a good dude, solid dude. I work with him, and he's taking care of me. What I meant was like, I think I did see one post. Mm, I can't remember who it was for, what it was about, but it like something about like political shit, not cops.
oh, is it
Which one?
the
Which
Coyotes? That group, the Coyotes. They had a little video type thing about the whole president and all that.
maybe about the deportation? Maybe
Yeah, I
I
mean,
okay, it might have been that.
he brings up a lot of the kids are able to do this and that, but they can't do the, speaking on that,
What was he speaking on?
speaking on the whole, the presidential race and all that, and the government and all that. Like he's not really for nobody. What he's basically saying is we're screwed no matter who we voted for, and that's
Yeah,
why I don't, I don't mess with Trump. I don't, I don't go for nobody. I think no matter what, we're always going to be screwed.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that's the way I think.
hopefully not, man. Because I mean, people say like no matter what, we're always gonna be screwed. But I mean, hopefully this world comes to a place where like it's no longer like that. Like I think this time around was like a weird. Everybody was in a weird place where they're like, well, I don't want to vote for Trump, but it sounds like he might have my. I'm not saying me, but people were probably thinking like he might have my better interest, right? And like regardless of like who I voted for, like here in California, even if I voted for Trump, it didn't matter because California, uh, the electoral went to Kamala, right?
Yeah,
So like, it didn't really matter. What mattered was all the other states that voted for him, basically voted for him, and that's why he's in. Um, I'm hoping that one day, bro. Like, I mean, I'm hoping in the next 4 years, like he surprises everybody and he makes this a better country. Like not that make America great again, but more like make fucking America better, man. Like, because I think like I think it's hard because what poor families in the hood see is we need food on the table, we need work, we need less taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the rich people that are like, we need less taxes, boom. And then there's people in the middle, like I have a business, I have a LLC, right? And so there's people like me where like I'm like, well, I'm not balling, but I need tax breaks for businesses. You know what I mean? And so it's like I got a little bit of this side and I got a little bit of this side, and I need both. You know what I mean? And so I think it comes down to a lot of that, to where like I think maybe we don't have people looking out for our better interest, but we need somebody to kind of stand up. And if he ends up being that dude, well, fuck,
Yeah.
like that's cool. You know what I mean? If he ends up surprising everybody, now it's clear he's gonna deport a lot of people, right? From what I try to do research and I try to pay attention to what's going on in the world, and it's kind of fucked up because one of the things I see and realize and recognize is that we only see and know what we see on the news, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on my reels, on your reels, right? On my page, your page. That's what we see, right? But say we don't know anybody that's specifically at the border or in some other country in that moment, like the whole shit with Israel and Palestine, like that whole thing, right? Like we only know what we're being told. Like I don't have friends and family that are actually in that country, like in the war zones, like filming shit of what's going down. So we only know what we're told, right?
Yeah.
So like I think it's one of the things that's fucked up is that we all get these opinions and biases that are based on the little bit of information that we're given, and they're giving us crumbs, like, and it's not just the government, it's like the media, like all the news sources, they're only showing us what they want to show us, and it's fucked up because like one of the realest things I saw recently was fucking when that what's his name, that big news guy, Tucker Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Russia and he interviewed Putin. Now I fell asleep watching this fucking interview, but he went and he interviewed him straight up, And so I heard some of it, right? And so a lot of the shit he was saying was very different from what we're told about him. He basically just said, like, I try to get a part of NATO, and fucking Clinton told me yes, and then he came back and said, "Nah, they don't want you." You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I'm upset. And like when you look at stuff like that, you're like, "Oh fuck!" Like maybe this dude wasn't such a piece of shit, and he was trying to like fucking be on our side, but we don't want to fuck with him, you
Yeah.
know. And it's not even like me or you; it's the whoever's in power, And so I'm rambling, but that's just that's just a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
stuff
I
I
get
think
it.
about, because I realize we're only told so much, man. Like I recently learned fucking I didn't know, regardless of who I who I think is at fault. I just learned a few days ago from my coworker that Israel was barely labeled as a state in 1948 or 1942, meaning like the state of Israel didn't exist until fucking like 70 years ago or 80 years ago, which is crazy because those countries like in that area, they're like, you know they're one of the first people that were ever around, period.
Yeah.
So like that whole battle with them, like at first I had a certain opinion, but someone was like, bro, they've only been in that location for like 80 years, and they're like, what about the people that were there before? And it's kind of funny because it's kind of like what happened here. The
Yeah.
Indians were here, and then fucking Caucasian people came, Eastern or European people came, and they fucked them all up, and now we're here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sorry to ramble, but
No, okay.
it's just I I I pay a lot of attention to like what's going on in the world and like fucking politics, because at the end of the day, like I think as a people, like as raza, are you Mexican, right?
Yeah.
As raza, like I think we're like, oh, well, that doesn't pertain to us, and a lot of it doesn't. But at the end of the day, like it does, you know, like it will pertain to us, you know, like a lot of us have family here that may or may not have papers, and some of them who unfortunately came in illegally, they might get deported at January fucking 20th. You know what I
No.
mean? And that's fucked up, you know. But luckily, this is supposed to be the fucking country of the free, and hopefully they get a chance to come back. You know what I
No.
mean? I mean we got our ways, dog. You know,
Well, they're gonna end up coming back.
they're gonna come back. We got ways, bro. You know, we got ways. You know, like I got family that were born in Mexico, but they're here legally now, and there's always a fucking way. You know what I mean? There's always a way, but yeah, man. With all that stuff, like with that guy, what'd you call the Coyote guy? You know, like with stuff like that. Whenever I see stuff like that or hear stuff like that, I try to like look into it. That way, like I don't respond to someone else, and they're like, "Bro, like you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about."
Yeah.
You know that shit, because that shit. Then you're like, "Oh fuck, I'm so stupid," right? But yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I get real passionate about the world.
No.
Especially, I mean, fuck, especially America, dog. Because I, I think like I mean, I'm Mexican, but I was born here. I'm an American. You know, that's how I identify. You know, and like as a parent, my son was born here too. So like, I love my family, but like right now, like for me, like my fucking emphasis is gonna be on my son. You know what I mean? So like I'm like, okay, so he's born here. I gotta make sure he's good here. You know what I mean? So like if we could all come together, dog, and just like coexist peacefully,
No.
life will be better, man.
Good luck if that ever happens.
It's fucked up because we blame everything on politicians, and a lot of people blame everything on white people, but like in the hood, it's not white people killing each other. It's blacks killing blacks, Mexicans killing Mexicans. You know what I mean?
No.
Salvadorians killing Mexicans, Mexicans killing Salvadorians, and Guatemalans, and like vice versa. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking oppressed people hurting oppressed people.
No.
You know what I mean? When we should all be coming together and fucking helping each other, being community. I work in Santa Ana, and it's funny because I hear a lot of people talk shit about Santa Ana. I have, it's just apparently it's not that good of a city. Where I work is pretty nice, but I noticed where I work, bro, in that area by like Fourth and French. For anybody that knows Santa Ana, they're always having fucking like weekly community events out there. Like on the like they close the streets. They have this big ass monitor they put up. Everybody watches something together. There's some like running club. You know what I mean? And everybody in the community comes together, and they're all right there all fucking Saturday and all Sunday. And it's like I don't know any other as I'm sure other cities do it, but I don't know of any other cities that do shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I know people in Highland Park where I grew up on York and Fig are fucking out eating food every day at night, like at the taco trucks,
No.
but they're not coming together as a people. You know what I mean? And so like when I see that in Santa Ana, when they're all like together as families, fucking at the food trucks, and these little community events, I'm like, damn, like that's what all these communities need to be doing, coming together and like fucking breaking bread together, and getting to know each other, and fucking talking about ways to make the neighborhoods better. You know what I mean?
No.
So there's my another rant. but what else is good with you? You working on anything right now?
Working? Nah, I'm not working now.
You don't work?
Been going through it with some health issues, so
Yeah.
trying to get back.
How long? If you don't mind me asking, how long you been dealing with the health issues? Oh, a minute.
3 years now.
3 years.
I was working prior to that for about 6 years.
6 years. What did you do
Just one day,
before?
clamp operator
Clamp
on W
operator.
trains.
Oh, okay. And is there like is there like is there a plan right now like to get better and to like?
Well, I'm getting better day by day. It's just right now there's this like a case going through, so
Oh really?
yeah.
So
So
you might get.
yeah, it might be. I mean, 50
Okay.
50 right now. We gotta see,
Okay.
what happened.
Well, I mean, hopefully it goes your way, man. Because
Yeah,
not working, I mean,
yeah, it's
that's
been
just
kind of rough. Yeah.
I can only imagine. You got any questions for me? Let's chop it up. We got
Mm,
time. We got time.
you got time?
Yeah, we got time.
Um, well, how long you been doing this? I mean, I only ran into you through Droops.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
had interviewed
Shout
you.
out to the homie Droops. Shout
Yeah,
out
shout out to Droops, man.
to
Good dude
little
right
Droops.
there.
Shout out to Cleon. So, in 2020, in 2021, I came out on a podcast, right? And then I was like, man, I kind of want to start my own podcast. I wasn't really sure why, but I knew I wanted to start a podcast. Now, backtrack. Back in like 2017, I would like wake up at 5 in the morning every day, work out, and I would like listen to these fucking motivational videos on YouTube. I would go and find all these motivational YouTube videos, mostly bodybuilding ones, but I would listen to them every fucking morning. Get ready for the gym, you know. And I started making my own little like motivational speeches, 30, 15 seconds long, 20 seconds long, 30 seconds long, a minute long, whatever I could fucking do. Cause I have a bad habit of like, sometimes when I speak, I either speak too fast or I stutter because I'm not like taking my time and slowing down. And so, I was making those speeches probably since like 2017. Um, in the times that I was sober, because when I'm not sober and I start drinking, I don't work out. I barely eat. I don't watch no speeches. I don't even listen to music. Like I totally like seclude in my own little world, like not locked up in a motel or in my room, but like it's just I stopped doing the normal things I do day to day. So um in 2020, 2021, I was making those motivational videos still. And then I was like, man, I kind of people would laugh. People still laugh that I have a podcast. To be honest, people make super little jokes, and I was like, man, people probably don't even give a fuck. But there's been times where like when I relapse, right, in the past, where I stop making those little motivational videos and like and then I'll get sober again and my homie will be like, damn, bro, like I would look forward to your little videos every day. Like that shit would fucking motivate me. And I'm like, what? Like I've had like maybe 5 people in total tell me when you stop making your motivational videos like in the morning, I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't have motivation to watch. And so when they told me that, I was like, damn, like not that I've got something good to say, but like people in this world need a pep talk sometimes. Sometimes people need someone to fucking tell them like, hey bro, it's gonna be okay. Like, hey bro, like you're down and you're out, but if you fucking get right, life's gonna be good. And so I guess for years I've wanted to motivate and inspire people, and so I didn't imagine or realize how hard this was gonna be because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get fucking. I don't even have a lot of followers. I have like 2,600 followers, which isn't really much. But I was like, I'm gonna fucking get all these like famous people to be on my podcast, and I'm gonna inspire other people through them. Like, fuck what I gotta say. Like, I want people to hear what they gotta say. I want people to hear their story. I want people to hear how they started and how they got to where they're going, right? So originally this podcast was meant to be motivational, and not that it's not motivational. In a way, it still is. You know what I mean? Um, but like like my first guests were like about uh, sobriety, business, being an entrepreneur. I had Solus from OTR. I had Bozo, who's now with OTR. I had FKM Southside, who's a rapper. I've had a couple of women that are like all about women empowerment and like being like boss moms or whatever you want to call it, like women that are like in the field and they're struggling, but they're making they're getting shit done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was 2022. I would record in my homie's studio in Monrovia. He like it was in his house, but he had a little like room set up, kind of like this, a little bit smaller, but it was good. Same expensive equipment. And I did that, and then like I've had a couple barbers. I have a friend. I won't say his name, but he started Monster Energy. I mean, yeah, he started Monster Energy, and he sold it, but he still works with them. He's a scientist, and my boy's got a Lambo. You know what I mean? Like I work with him in the combat sports area. He's a judge, and people who know me probably know who he is now because I already said so much about him. But like that's like someone like so for me to know somebody who like that's motivating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I got off track, but that's how I started. And then 2022, I'll be honest, like for anybody that doesn't know, I was with the love of my life. I was like with my dream girl. I was super in love. I was simping. I was head over heels. But like it became a little unhealthy for me because like I started to like just I don't know what was wrong with me. Like maybe my hormones were wrong. I don't know, but like I started to get like super attached and super needy, which isn't necessarily bad, but I was like acting out on it and kind of being like just not the best boyfriend, you know. And so she broke up with me, and I used it as an excuse to go out and get fucked up one more time, and that led to a 5 month bender. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that first night, the very first night I relapsed, I almost caught a fourth DUI, fourth, leaving fucking sat in strip club in the city industry. And you know, it sucks, bro. I remember when that cop, there was a sheriff behind me, and I was like, holy fuck. I was like, fourth DUI? What the fuck am I gonna do? And he had been watching me like at the fucking um, gas station, like stuck on my phone. I was gambling on my phone, and he was just watching me, and I fucking take off like a dumbass. Then he follows me, and then by the grace of God, he fucking went somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I continued to get fucked up, and then I relapsed for those 5 months. So my podcast got put on hold. Um, I got sober again, and then like I needed to get my life right, so I got my life right for a little bit. I hit up my homie, and he had moved out of Monrovia. He had like a little spot where I could record again, and I was trying to do it, but it kind of wasn't working out. And then because I've cut Lefty Gunplay and Tito Rana's hair, you know, Lefty records out of this studio right here, and I know his people, and you know, shout out to the Wrecking Spot. Um, one day they're like, "Oh yeah, we randomly they're like, we have a podcast room." And at this time when they told me they had a podcast room, I was recording Zoom podcasts. So my guests were at their house and I was at my house, and it's cool, it worked, but I was like, man, like I want to talk to people in person again, and so I started doing it here, and that's been ever since, which is you know a few months ago. I live like an hour away from here, so it's a
Yeah.
drive. It's a drive, but you know it takes dedication and commitment. You know, I'll be honest. A lot of days, I'm like, should I let go of this podcast? Like, to be honest, like I'm not complaining to anybody, but it cost me more to do this than like than so far as of right now than the output. You know what I mean? I pay. Sometimes I have sponsors for that help me with the studio time. You know, but like when you think of like like having to buy like mics and tripods and pay for the studio time, the drive. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you for driving out here. I don't know how far you came from, but thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
You know, sometimes it gets discouraging. You know, there's been times where like guests just I hit up a lot of people like to dude. I don't think I'll ever get Joe Rogan, but like I'm pretty sure I've commented on some of his posts multiple times, saying tagging him, saying, "Hey, bro, like I'd love to get you on my podcast." You know what I mean? I tag people like Andy Frisella. I tag random like entrepreneurs, and it's funny because I'll hear people on podcasts saying, "Oh, if you tag me and you write me, like I'll respond," and I do, and they don't ever fucking respond because they're so famous or they got so much shit on their plate. They can't. They got so many DMs,
Yeah.
like it's crazy. Um, and or I've had people that like they want to charge me to come on, or or they just ghost me, and I'm like, fuck, man, like I just want that, like I'm nobody special, but like, bro, like if I'm hitting you up like to be on the podcast, like I want people to hear your story, which means you got something to say, which means like people could take something from what you have to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I guess for everybody that doesn't mean something, but like in my head, I'm like, bro, like if I'm looking forward to people speaking on podcasts, that means like either I'm just really receptive or they must have some really good shit to say.
Yeah.
I must think they're educated. Because I've listened to other podcasts where not recently maybe, because Joe Rogan doesn't have any like ignorant people on his podcast. Maybe he does. I don't know, but like whenever the few that I listen to like regularly, like as soon as I hear them speaking, I'm like, oh shit, this sounds good. Like let me lock in. You know what I mean? So that's how this all came about.
You ever check out Droops? Where he's
Yeah,
at? You check out him, the
yeah.
podcast he's
And then
on?
I had him here. Droops is basically family. That's my uncle's
Yeah.
homie in the hood. You know what I mean? So him and my uncle go way back, like way back. You know what I mean? I'm talking like way back. So Droops is basically family. He came on the podcast. It was dope.
Yeah.
I actually tried to get him to come today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but his girl check the schedule. And I think he had to do one over there at Hater World today.
Yeah,
You be watching Hater World?
yeah, I
Yeah.
watch them. Shout out to Hater World and all that crew, like Blue Devil and Opina and Droop.
Shout out to Blue Devil, Droops, Peanut, Hater World. Let's go. Yeah, they have on. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they have on a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest. Fucking, I'll be honest right now. Not trying to be on anybody's dick, but shout out to Lucky from Hoodstocks because some of the guests that I've had, a few of them, I've basically hit them up after I saw them on his podcast, and they've a couple of them have come on, like thanks to him. You know what I mean? And like he's also my uncle's homie, right? He also knows Droops, so he's not my homie, but like through him, like I've been able to get a couple people. Now it's not always that easy either, but you know, his podcast, Hater World, Joe Rogan, those are like the goals. Like that's what I'm trying to get to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm not trying to make money. If I make money, if I get sponsorships that pay for the studio time, cool. If I get like a sponsorship that pays for like a fucking a better tablet to keep the fucking thing up there the whole episode, or better mic so you can hear us better like during the YouTube live. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Johnny because I borrowed his tripod today because mine is too small. But you know what I mean? Like if I were to get sponsors to cover all that little tiny shit, like that's dope. You know what I mean? Like if I stop putting out the money for this, I'm not trying to make money. But if at some point it makes money, cool. You know what I mean? Like I try to be a solid individual, and I try to be a man. 20. I don't know if this sounded funny, but I try to be like a solid man, 24/7, right? And so when it comes down to like the grit, like I just want to help change people's lives. You know what I mean? Like even if we talk about sobriety, you know what I mean?
No,
I've been through some shit. You know what I mean? Um, I'll tell you. Did I tell you something about the big homie? Did I tell you something about that? I didn't tell you.
no.
So I was telling the two in like two more episodes I'm gonna have on this dude named YG. I told him I'll tell him some of my story. Uh, when I was gambling, I'll go to these locations that'll be unnamed, but they're run by the homies. They're run by the big homies. They're basically run by the top dogs, and there's a lot of guns, drugs, gangs, right? And I would work there sometimes, or I would just gamble there. I would fucking lose all my money there. And there was this one time where fucking I owed this dude money, and he was trying to like bully me for it. He was gonna fuck me up, and I was at the spot, right? And he went with like six homies, not my homies, but his homies, and they were gonna fuck me up. And like my life flashed before my eyes because there was these six big ass dudes ready to fuck me up, and they wouldn't. Where I was, I tried to leave, and they wouldn't let me leave. I was like, oh fuck, I'm fucked, I'm fucked. And without saying too much, security came, like the fools, that worked for the spot, and they were like, "Hold on, we gotta talk to the homie and see what's going on." They're like, "But you can't leave," And I'm like, "Fuck." So, so they come back and they go, "Look, Dre, the big homie says you can stay here. Nobody's gonna touch you. They gotta leave. They can't touch you in here, and they can't touch you out there, right?" They made those fools leave. I left a little bit later. That was one of the times I got sober, and that was one of the things that changed my life. That was like in 2021. But you think after something like that, I would never drink again, right?
Yeah.
But I did, because sometimes we forget, man. But it's funny because I heard um, there's another story connected to all this, right? Where I won't say too much. Where this person was working on another podcast, and that person who was like related to all this too, that little story. I found out that fool who was trying to punk me for money is like Juice was telling me that fool's gonna go be a cop now.
Huh.
And I'm like, but he's somebody that was like working for the homies. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and this fool was trying to extort me for money too. And I'm like, dog, like, like that's was just some off the top of the shit.
Hmm.
But I thought I had told you I was gonna talk about it too. But for anybody listening, like, don't do drugs, kids, because you end up in bad spots, and getting sober and getting clean will fucking change your life and take you away from those bad spots. Um, if they hit you up to be on more podcasts, would you do it?
Yeah, I'm getting
How do you feel
more.
right now?
I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Got any more questions for me? Let's chop it up. We got like,
Shit, and I just wanted to just talk a little bit about the little boy with
yeah.
autism.
Oh
You
yeah, yeah.
know, as
Okay,
well.
so look. All right, so what? Okay, what happened with the school?
No, I'm talking about the other one, the
Which
one
one?
that went viral on the TV, got slapped by
Oh, what
the.
happened with that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody just reached out one day and wanted to post a video of it, and so they shot it to me. A lot of people shoot me videos to post, and I have a decent page, and I posted it and it just went viral, and this is where we're at today. I was just with them on Sunday. It was his 11th birthday. We go back to court on December 2nd in San Fernando,
Okay.
and he has to pull up. The judge
They
ordered him to
they
pull up.
gave that kid's family like a new Ford Explorer, right?
He got a new Ford
That's
Explorer.
right.
Yeah.
That dude that slapped him, he was driving like a Mercedes Benz, no, or something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. It was like a
I
Mercedes.
think I seen. I think I
Some
seen
Pacoima.
like. I think I seen. It was in Pacoima out in the valley. I think I seen somebody, one of the homies, who's like pretty popular, but like he's about it. He posted that fool's picture on social media, and he was like, "Hey, like if you know where to find this fool, like let me know." The fool driving the Benz, because people are mad. People were mad about. I mean, I'm sure people are still mad about that.
Oh yeah.
But what's that kid's name?
Alfredito.
Hmm?
Alfredito.
Alfredito.
Yeah.
So from what you know, what's the story? Like how did it go down? Like what happened?
They were waiting for the bus at a bus stop,
Okay.
and while they were walking, like they're crossing the street to go to the bus stop, and he just happened to walk by. He was the first car right there, and just messed with the emblem. The guy made a U-turn, just went over and just slapped him.
Oh, a grown man slapped a
Yeah,
kid,
didn't
huh?
even didn't break the emblem or anything. Just walked over there and slapped him.
Wow, it's fucked up. So
So
that was.
grown adult didn't even know nothing. I mean, he's a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they got the lawyer when we went to court. They got the lawyer talking about, well, my client didn't know that he had autism. I was like,
But
come on, bro. Like,
regardless,
you know how you're sounding right now? Like,
wow, that was his defense. He didn't know the
yeah,
kid was autistic. I mean, you my
kid
kid's not
alone.
autistic. You slap my kid, you're.
Yeah. So that's what like I like to help the community and all that. So when I got that video, I just threw it up there. It got 3 million views.
Did it?
All
Wow.
news stations started DMing me, and it just went from there. I connected. I gotta connect with Channel 5. You got it. Put the story on, and it's been there. We've been helping them ever since.
That's what's up, G.
That's just what I like to do, man. I like to, I try to avoid all the drama and everything that goes, and do right, help the
Yeah, hell
community.
yeah.
Sometimes I like to help the street vendors.
That's what's. One of the one of the dudes I've cut before that. I don't know what's going on with Swifty Blue. Sounds like he's going through a lot of shit. But at some point in 2019, I think I cut that was here at the studio, and he brought. That was when that shit with that one corn lady had gone down, somewhere in LA where I think the dudes like robbed her and they fucked up her shit.
Hmm.
Do you remember? It was like a big one. I'm not trying to be like race driven right here, but some black dudes had fucked up her car. They stole her money, like a little Mexican lady. You remember? It was like 2019. It was big. It was
I
big.
don't remember
It
that
was
one.
big. It was one of those big
No.
ones with the food vendors. I think it's like when all that shit with the food vendors started cracking off, when food
Mm.
started fucking with them. So I think like everything was like like decent, and then shit just started cracking off. Like I think where my cousin's studio is, she's right by that famous corn guy by Dodger Stadium. He's this one famous guy that's always been there for years. You know what I'm talking about? Right there in Lincoln Heights. Yeah, there's
Oh, okay. Wait, yeah,
the
yeah, I think
elote guy. I think he got robbed at some. I think they tried to rob him too at some point. So
yeah. It's crazy out there for the vendors. That's why I feel for them. I try to help them and all that stuff.
yeah.
Shout out to Alex, the one that's still incarcerated right
Well,
now for
what's going on with that?
he's still fighting, man. They don't.
Why is he in jail?
They They got him on all kind. I mean, I'm not gonna really speak on. I mean, whatever, but they got him for all kinds of trumped up charges. You know, there's a
Really?
lot of
So okay, so I've only seen clips of him on Hoodstocks. That's how I heard of him. And then next thing you know, I'm seeing people saying free Alex. You know, he from what the only gist I get is like he's super outspoken. He was speaking on certain things, and it sounds like people are saying that they're silencing him, and that's why they have him
yeah.
locked up.
Basically, that's what they're trying to do.
How long has he been? What
Next month it'll be a year.
like here?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
shout out to the other one. Shout out to SD. Shout out to Wendy. They're out. But Alex is one that's facing. He hasn't got nothing. No
they
jail. No
haven't. They
nothing.
don't have a good lawyer for him.
They've been. I don't know.
I know a lot of people out in the social media world know a lot of good lawyers, you know, and
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them could connect Alex to a really good fucking top notch lawyer who'd fucking gladly and willingly sue the fucking state or sue fucking whoever, and they both make a fuckload, a fuckload of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's crazy, bro. You know, that kind of goes back to like people that pull out their phones when they get pulled over. You
You
know?
have to do that, man, on everything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna be our word against their word. And you
Yeah.
always gotta pull out a phone. When shit's going down.
Yeah. I drive with like a fucking one of those dash cams, just that's just recording at all times, just in case. You know what I mean? Just in case, dog. Like not only for like accidents, but say I get pulled over, I'm like, hold up, fool, I got proof. Like this
Yeah.
shit's right here, dog. But you know, I will say, I always tell people like, oh, well, if you don't fuck around, like they won't fuck with you. But I know for some, unfortunately for some people, that's not true.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know,
true. Yeah.
and it's crazy because like I live in Irvine, and it's funny because you would think like Irvine PD would fuck with me because I definitely stand out, bro. They don't fuck with me at all. They don't fuck with me. But unfortunately, we don't know about it like that. I have. Where I used to get fucked with a lot. I used to live in Norwalk.
Yeah.
I used to get fucked with a lot over there, bro. Those sheriffs over there were fucking. Back then, they were like I would drive my baby mama's car and her. Oh fuck! I don't want to tell whatever. Her dad had a warrant, right? And so the cops would look up the address on the car, and like it would come back to someone having a warrant. And even though I'm not that motherfucker, like they would be like, "Oh, well, someone at this house has a warrant, so we're pulling you over." And they take me to jail. I was fucking up though, but I remember I was always mad. I'm like, bro, and now that tactic is not legal. They cannot do that. Like you can't search somebody's license plate and be like, oh well, fucking a 7-year-old man has a warrant. Well, that's a 20-year-old guy. Well, let's pull him over because that might be him. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the kind of shit that I little shit like that. Nothing crazy, but that's the only ever time I've ever really like felt oppression. I guess.
Well,
But it's funny because those fucking cops, they're not white, they're not black, they're fucking the raza. You
I think
know.
they all stick together.
Yeah, I
Truthfully, I
mean,
think so.
but I mean, the blue sticks together, and you know, um, the only other time like I had like a really really bad experience was fucking in East LA, not too far from here. Is a park called Saybrook Park, and I was out late with some people one night at the park. Obviously, not up to no good, but obviously people shouldn't be at parks at fucking 1 in the morning. And fucking I don't know, the cops swarmed the park, and I remember I was like, well, I mean, I hadn't done anything, but I'm like, well, fuck cops, so I run, and a cop car pulled up and back to me, and then the cop, pulled down. He was like, hey, so you take one more step, and I'm shooting, and he has a shotgun pulled down. I'm like, what the fuck? I already got a weapons, bro, but so I know a lot of people have been through shit like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I will say, I will say, I'm in the back of my head. I'm like, well, if a cop does pull me over and does some stupid shit, and I'm recording, I hope I'm recording. I get fucking $1 million from this fucking bullshit, But who knows if it happens and I ever get to enjoy it because I'm fucking brain dead from getting, my life, fucking beat out of me, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's just, and I know some people deal with that kind of shit. Any more questions?
Yeah.
What do you got going
Uh,
on after this?
nah, just chill.
Chill.
Yeah, not too much going on. We got the toy drive this weekend.
Toy Drive, shout it out,
From
shout it out.
shout out to Chino Mike and No More Locked Doors.
Oh,
The
no more.
end of Nationwide will be out there. Pirate from No Fronts. They're gonna be out there at out in Pomona. It's called the Derby Room.
Okay, okay,
Um, they collect toys for kids that have parents that are incarcerated.
okay.
They'll
That's
be
what's
out
up, dog.
there doing that this
That's right.
weekend.
That's what's up. Speaking of no more locked doors, who I just seen live? Frankie Quinones,
Mm.
Quinones, the Cholo Fit guy.
Yeah.
And then that was a show hosted at the Yost in Santa Ana, hosted by Jay Valentino. Shout out to Jay Valentino and all his fucking comedians that night. That shit was funny as fuck. I will say I was laughing my ass off the whole night. I think at one night, at one point, I cried. It was so funny. They were fucking with me. Some I'm not talking shit, but there was a gay comic, and he like looked at me in the crowd, and he was like, "Oh, look at this fucking cholo right here." He's like, "You can't afford me, cholo," and I'm like, "What the fuck? I'm not."
Was it a bigger dude?
Yeah, his name's Narciso.
Yeah, no,
Narciso.
I
Yeah,
seen him
yeah,
before.
he's fucking
I
funny
seen
as
him like
he's funny as
about
fuck,
10 years ago
bro.
at the bicycle casino.
He is fucking hilarious. Like,
Yeah,
and I wanted to be like, bro, I'm not gay, but I got money. Leave me alone. Like, fuck you. But it's funny because I was like, I was just wearing like a blue, pro club, but they're like, why was he calling you a cholo? I was like, I don't know, but fuck it, whatever, dog. But yeah, that was a funny night. Shout out to them. Yeah, I was looking for him. I don't know how to find him on Instagram, but I'm gonna find him. He's funny as fuck. Um, and yeah, as of right now, man. Let's see, am I working on anything? I got a podcast next week with I think it's like Tough Jim. He's like an
Oh, okay.
influencer. Tough Jim.
In Santa Ana?
Recording with him. Is that where he stays at?
Yeah.
Really? Oh shit. Yeah, so I'm recording with him next week, and then December 9th, the homie YG. He's a part of Hood, or I don't know if he still is. I can't speak on it, but at one point he was a part of Hoodstocks. We're gonna interview him. We're gonna talk about fucking life, talk about fucking childhood and fucking all the other shit that drugs and alcohol come with. Fucking, I appreciate you coming out here, dog. Shout out to everybody that's been a part of this podcast. Shout out to the Wrecking Spot. Shout out to anybody that listens to this podcast. Shout out to everybody. Hopefully, you guys keep staying tuned. Continue to stay tuned. Shout out to your friend, Official Tierra Brand. She didn't make it,
Yeah, she didn't
but
make
check
it
her
out.
out on Instagram, Official Tierra Brand.
Get her out here too.
We'll get her out here soon. Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to all my former guests. Fucking happy birthday, Rolling with Mamacitas. Happy birthday, Monica. I'm gonna post this for you. And again, shout out to my cousin Andres and Jackie G at Inktra Studio in Lincoln Heights, 323-313-2520. You got any final thoughts?
Nah, man. Just keep on doing what you're doing, man. Just I mean, we all start at the bottom and then just go. Shoot up.
I will say, man. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm not a quitter. I mentioned, I get discouraged sometimes, but I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for fucking. I don't need anybody to praise me. I don't need anybody to fucking be like, "Oh, that's fucking cool, Dre." No. Like, I want to do this podcast for someone who needs something to listen to. When they're down and they hear about some rapper that made it out the hood, or they hear about a label owner that made it out the hood, or that came from another country, was an immigrant, whose family are immigrants, and now he's rich as fuck. You know what I mean? People can be fucking CEOs of companies. Like, I want them to get motivated and inspired. Because right now, the world kind of sucks. America kind of sucks, but I love America. And hopefully, people can, one day at a time, one podcast at a time, one episode at a time can fucking have hope. You know what I mean? Hopefully this podcast can bring a little hope, or, fucking distract people from their day, whether it's bad, if it's bad. You know what I mean? So, I'm Dre. I go by Dre Cuts. This is a Dre Talks podcast. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you for coming out, G. I'm gonna post this tonight when I get home, and we out. Oh shit. see. Oh shit, we had hella people fucking tune in. That's right. Yeah, yeah.